composition. You have a Cassante, you have the Alistair, you have a really strong front line. You have engaged with this Nocturne, but it doesn't have easy follow-up, right? You can go into the back line and then what? You know, there's a lot of bodyguards here for Jiwoo, a lot of bodyguards for this very difficult to kill Ryze anyways. I think the call to ban the Cassiopeia made a ton of sense. Banning the Onivia a little bit less so, but it fits the same sort of identity of, okay, we need some more scaling damage than just this Varus.
And there is a control ward here in the back of the pit, but it's not going to be enough to get DK in there.
So I guess it doesn't matter really too much.
Yep, Blackfire Torch is done here for ShowMaker, as well as Rich and Siwoo fighting once again. There's the Dominus popped from this Renekton, cutting down. The Cassante gets under the turret, all out, but
I don't think they need it. Rich is just going to take TP advantage and walk back, and Andil can hold the door.
Well, there's the teleport to come through. Smash buys some shoes. There's the Drake take, as DRX are looking for a little bit more. Chains of Corruption go wide once again. And it's a Cloud Soul Wolf, like you were talking about. We deserved it.
Yeah.
Because this soul would be so much fun.
Sometimes it's just
dead to rights.
At least force Rich to flash. As Lucid, where are you going?
Oh dear. He's going to have to spell shield something, as ShowMaker looking to move his way over, but there is a Realm Warp, and that should be a dead Nocturne. Down he will go, but there's a piercing arrow, as the Olaf is going to be traded. Now, Korea moving in. There is going to be the Keeper's Verdict to get rid of Smash, but ShowMaker is still so scary, and he's got a cow to back him up. That's looking like it might be the next port of call. I mean, Smash has ulti back again.
Jiwoo is Sivir, so he's like, I've got mid-prio.
Well, maybe he may not have his life, is the problem, as Spell Shield's fantastic. Korea finds the Flash Bulb to take down the Sivir, and you blink and you miss it.
I guess so.
Just being removed. Andil has to flash. That's going to get him out of there, and the top laners are in the bottom lane. Thank you, Jonas Strong, for that one. As Rift Herald is just going to be taken here by DK. I don't think there's a lot DRX can do.
Yeah, I like the idea of clearing the wave and trying to collapse there, but he went pretty deep as Willer is going to show up.
Yeah, Ucal on a flank angle as well, as we've got a teleport getting them behind DK. I think DRX may have just got themselves a Rift Herald based on that play. And Wolf, you said it before, the macro late game has just looked better, frankly.
And in game 1 and game 2, they had a huge lead.
Well, ShowMaker is now going to have to flash out of the way. That is going to allow him to escape the prison of runes.
Yeah,
oh dear, we've seen this movie before. It's not great for Siwoo, who goes all out pretty early on in this fight, gets a big old shield. As Rich just happy for a trade of ultis. Chains of Corruption once again thrown out just for fun, as Andil likely to be dead, but does get to keep his verdict down. The Arcane Storm is going to be enough though, and down goes the Poppy. DK should be able to get themselves a Drake off the back of this, as Rich goes forward, has a lot of fury, and Cole the Meek is going to at least get that health bar back to parity with Siwoo. These top laners have just been fighting constantly this game.
He's got the gauntlet.
He does manage to take down that minion wave. So there is a priority lead for DK. They're going to now push forward, as DRX were looking for it here. Siwoo is going to get pushed back, but he's lit on fire. Not sure whether he really minds too much about that.
ShowMaker is just trapped in the bottom lane, and this is now a 5v4, and they get prio on the Dragon. Slow and steady wins the race here for DRX, although Andil a bit far forward.
Yeah, ShowMaker moving over, and DK, I mean, they're going to give up Cloud Soul point. Keeper's Verdict is going to not quite work out here, as the Realm Warp is very aggressive. It delivers the Poppy, and they get on top of ShowMaker. He's blown up in an instant. And now DK, can they still win the fight? That's the question. As DRX, they just rebuild the Phalanx. And DK, I don't know whether you want to take this one, as the piercing arrows are flying in. Lucid wants to get that damage through. Siwoo is a monster in this game as he goes all out, takes out the Poppy, but then has to flash to get himself out of the way. Now Jiwoo, I don't know about that one, buddy. That is too far, as now Smash can walk up to take down Rich, and DK delivered a team fight on a silver platter.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not sure. I'm going to say I am sure, which is what you were saying essentially.
Yes.
That was not the play there from Jiwoo, who does now put together his Flicker Blade. Dplus are going to put together.
What are you doing? And now DK are going to very comfortably take this Baron 21 minutes into the game.
If we can survive this Baron and everything else, it's a 5,000 gold lead here again for Dplus now. Navarro's 2K ahead.
Yeah. And he's got Cyrilda's done, as Korea is going to interrupt the blast cone there as Rich moves his way over. Smash cannot actually enter the fight, as finally he hits an ultimate at least, as the paranoia, but the delivery onto Andil as he takes a buckler to the head and dies. That is just Lucid down, but you can see these health bars on DRX are very low.
To set up. This is a tough fight for Dplus here.
Oh man, Smash needs to be really careful, because Willa, if he just runs at them, he can really do some damage. As there's a Realm Warp, they're looking to try and single out ShowMaker, but there's a Paranoia to make them all blind as Siwoo is fighting Rich on the top end of the fight. Now Andil going down so incredibly low. Jiwoo flashes over the wall. Siwoo might be taken out here as Ucal has joined the fight, but Andil's also going to go down, and now Lucid gets on top of Jiwoo, but Jiwoo just evaporates him. The amount of damage from this Arcane Storm, though, just ludicrous, as DK still have carries to spare, and the Pulverize connects. No more steadfast presence because Andil is down, and DRX are going to get routed.
I mentioned in the draft very briefly that spell shield interaction with Alistair either because it just hasn't spawned.
Yeah.
And won't be for a while if they keep getting dragons, obviously, so...
And they want to be denying the soul because otherwise they won't win team fights, because Jiwoo is just going to sprint around way too fast after pressing his ultimate button, as we've got a bit of an all-in here towards the bottom side. Rich's Sterix helping him out very nicely as the Realm Warp is going to make it unfair, but there is the Paranoia as well. Rich having to flash his way out as Ucal, he has decided he is fully committing to trying to kill this Cassante, and unfortunately, ShowMaker will say no.
It's not going to call worth on this one for DRX. The ultimate for Ucal is down, which has been one of their biggest tools in team fights as well. The dragon spawning in 1 minute's time, and they're going to have 0 prio for it.
Man, ShowMaker is making Victor look broken in this game. The dragon going to be that little bit more important here for them, as Andil, there's not a whole lot he can do into Lucid, as Willer is going to move on over. The rest of DK, they can move the cavalry in, though, and I don't think Andil is going to be feeling too good about it. Death Ray does go wide. As the smite comes in, they want to try and get this, as Realm Warp going to get Andil out of there. Wasn't all that necessary, but look at this dragon.
And they can't do Baron in time. So Dplus get this dragon for free and put themselves on 2 Drakes. Again, still super far away from Soul, but it's a free win for them with the map control they had. And I think that, you know, some of these very aggressive positions for Andil and crew, Ucal's ults, not working out.
Paranoia going to come on through here as Lucid able to mitigate so much with that spell shield. The piercing arrow goes wide, and Andil is Poppy, and so he actually lasts way longer than he has any real right to, as the gravity field goes down, and that is going to deny the follow-up. But Siwoo actually takes so much damage from there, and Andil just kind of shrugs it off.
Yeah, Andil is like, I'm Poppy, I'm support Poppy, but your lethality bars doesn't
trying to
scare
back on a ward. There's a teleport in as well, as in goes the Olaf. He does get exhausted, but he doesn't look that tired to me. As the all-out comes through, Siwoo lasts a little bit longer than you'd expect, but with the Ragnarok running, there is no worries there from those chains of corruption, and DRX now have the inside track on this Baron.
This front line is completely broken now for Dplus. They don't really have a great way to fight this one out. Realm Warp?
Yeah, there's the Keeper's Verdict. Gets rid of Smash. Their heroic charge is not going to do too much to Lucid, as the Arcane Storm is doing a lot of work. Paranoia now down as well. I don't think he wants to go in. Lucid does decide to pull the trigger. I'm not sure about it, as the rest of DRX are just going to walk away.
Their health bars are too low. I think that was a good Paranoia call, the way they played it, how slowly they...
Faster than Olaf. And you get slow resistance as well, so the undertow spam is not as powerful.
They have pretty strong turn with this Nocturne. I'm not sure why they're not just putting people on Dragon.
Oh, well, Realm Warp is going to deliver them into the backline. There's the flash out from Smash as Lucid just trying to get on top of the Siva. She gets feared, and now Siwoo is looking to try and get in. The Guardian Angel is going to get popped as Jiwoo is out of the, somewhat threat range, as well as down very low as well. And oh no! Career is just left to be a stake, as now ShowMaker gets flashed on by Rich. He needs to run quick. He does have the tools to do so, but unfortunately, it's not enough, as Smash is now the only damage that's left. Jiwoo trying to keep them interested, as Smash getting a little bit frightened, as Rich, great sidestep and really good ward that was positioned there beforehand. There's the all-out, but Jiwoo just says good night to Andil with it. Finds the Q onto Rich there as well, and he's now looking for the extra damage, but Ucal puts him in prison and takes him down.
Jiwoo's back here. Smash needs to be very careful about sticking around.
Very nice spell shield there as well, but and it's a one-team fight by DRX. That should be Cloud Soul.
There's no jungle here, though, for 25 seconds for DRX, whereas Lucid is up and available, so they need to play this really well. I think they're going to have to try to get a secure of the pit from the outside before they go for this. This is a bit disastrous here for DRX. There's a Paranoia.
This ward as well. Yeah, the Paranoia goes down there looking to try and kill Rich, but Smash has to move into melee range, and he's going to get wiped out. Now Lucid in a lot of trouble. The headbutt to try and save the jungler, but it's just going to be Korea once again being turned into mincemeat, and DRX just keep winning.
Oh man, Atlas, this is one of those games where by the time Smash gets back here, the fight is already over. And this is DRX taking Cloud Soul and Baron.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to be able to get away. He doesn't have Realm Warp, but he doesn't need it.
Great vision control here as well, as Lucid standing on a ward this entire time is actually going to get chased down by Willa here momentarily.
So much goal on the map here. And they can just slow play this because the Sivir is getting stronger and stronger and stronger at every passing moment. She was
now
level
Rich,
18.
Yeah, Rich able to walk up, and so now Siwoo could be in a little bit of trouble, mitigates a bit of the CC. But even the Crocodile, man, level 20 on this Renekton. It's a very scary time for DK, because after this, if they don't win this game, they're staring down the barrel of match point for DRX. As now Lucid looking to try and start this fight onto Ucal, but he is very scary right now. Level 18.
There's no follow-up.
Willa does get his CC removed, but doesn't actually have to use his Ragnarok to do so, as now Siwoo is possibly going to get taken down. He gets exhausted. He lasts a while, but he is eventually taken out, and the inhibitor goes down as well. Man, the gold advantage that has been built here by DRX is massive. 6,000 on the Rebel Baron power play, and that is only going to go up as they take another inhibitor turret. And DK, I mean, what are they supposed to do? DRX just have all the answers.
Yeah, they really do. Here's the TP in from Rich. They're looking to end the game right now.
Keeper's verdict is not going to push them all that far, as the Pulverize does not anything at all. From Korea, there is no follow-up, and Rich dives forward. ShowMaker still able to do a fair bit of damage here, but he gets taken out. The ricochets tear through DK, and DRX will move to match point.
DRX looking good at